All right, let's unpack this. Intuit Inc.'s latest quarterly report.
Oh, the Form 10Q?
Yeah, the one from November 21st, 2024.
Right, right.
Covering the quarter ending October 31st.
So just before the holidays hit?
A sneak peek behind the curtain, just as the holiday spending spree kicks off.
It's more than a peek. It's a chance to understand how Intuit's steering the ship,
Yep.
in this financial technology landscape that's changing so rapidly.
And they are not sitting back watching the waves roll by.
No, not at all.
They're making some big bets,
Oh, yeah.
especially when it comes to AI. But first, let's set the scene.
Okay.
$3.3 billion in revenue for the quarter.
Wow.
That's a 10% jump compared to last year.
Healthy growth.
And they're not hurting for cash.
No, they're not.
$3.4 billion in cash and investments as of the end of October.
It gives them freedom,
Yeah.
to experiment, to invest in new technology.
It's like having a giant sandbox to play in.
Exactly.
And they're definitely using it to explore this whole AI thing, especially something called generative AI.
Yeah, generative AI.
This isn't just making things a little faster or smoother.
Right.
We're talking revolution in how we interact with our finances.
A full-blown revolution. It's about moving beyond just the number crunching
Okay.
to a done-for-you experience.
Done for you. I like that.
Where the software anticipates your needs and guides you, through these complex financial tasks.
So it's like having a personalized financial advisor.
Yeah, right in your pocket.
So instead of me stressing over spreadsheets,
Yeah.
TurboTax could actually suggest
Exactly.
ways to minimize my tax bill throughout the year.
That's the idea.
Sign me up.
To get there, they're developing their own secret weapon.
Okay, what's that?
Financial large language models.
LLMs.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
These LLMs, they're essentially super smart computer programs
Okay.
that can understand, process human language.
So they can personalize these financial insights.
Right, for everyone from small business owners to individual consumers.
So LLMs are like the brains behind this whole AI operation.
You could say that, yeah.
But Intuit's not just a tax software company anymore, are they?
No, not at all.
Their report shows that Global Business Solutions segment
Which includes QuickBooks and MailChimp.
is a major engine for growth.
That's right. They want to be the ultimate hub for all these small businesses.
Makes sense.
Offering everything: accounting software, payroll solutions, even financing options.
One-stop shop.
Exactly. One-stop shop for running your business.
Speaking of one-stop shops, let's dive into some specific numbers here.
Right.
Their online ecosystem revenue that includes QuickBooks Online accounting
Oh, okay.
and related services jumped 20% this quarter.
Wow, 20%.
So businesses are embracing these cloud-based solutions.
It makes you wonder if the traditional desktop software is going the way of the dinosaur.
And then there's Credit Karma.
Yeah, their personal finance platform.
29% revenue surge this quarter,
That's huge.
fueled by personal loans, auto insurance, credit card offerings.
They're weaving their way into every corner of our financial lives.
It's a bold strategy.
It is.
When you connect this to their overall vision,
Right.
it's clear that Intuit wants to be a year-round financial partner.
Yeah, for both individuals and businesses, not just tax season anymore.
Right.
They want to be there for every financial decision, big or small.
But surely they must be facing some roadblocks on this quest for financial domination, right?
Oh, absolutely. One of the biggest elephants in the room
Okay.
is the potential for government-provided tax software
Oh, yeah.
to really shake things up.
Yeah. If the IRS were to offer a truly competitive free filing option,
That could be a game changer.
especially for folks who are hesitant to pay for tax software.
It's definitely something they're keeping a close eye on.
So what could Intuit possibly do to counter that?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
It'll likely be a multi-pronged approach, right?
Okay.
Maybe ramp up lobbying efforts to try and influence policy, maybe even form strategic partnerships
Partnerships, okay.
to offer their software as part of the government's solution.
So almost like joining forces with the enemy
Right, exactly.
to maintain a presence in the market.
Yeah, but they'd also need to double down on making their software stand out
Okay.
from that basic free option.
So like unique features.
Yeah, specialized guidance, maybe even weaving in some AI-powered insights.
So make TurboTax so good that people are willing to pay for it.
Precisely. Even with that free option out there.
Make it the premium option.
Exactly. But, beyond competition, there's also this responsibility factor.
Oh, right.
The report touches on their environmental, social, and governance commitments.
Their ESG goals.
Yeah, exactly.
What are they focusing on?
Well, they outline some objectives related to workforce diversity,
Okay.
job creation, and also their environmental impact.
It seems like every company's jumping on the ESG bandwagon these days.
It's a recognition that these things, sustainability and social responsibility,
Are becoming increasingly important,
to investors.
to investors and to customers.
So it's not just about making profits anymore.
No, it's about doing good while you're doing business.
Right. But they acknowledge that achieving these goals is a journey.
Yes, it's a journey, not a destination.
A journey, not a destination.
And the world's changing so rapidly.
Yeah.
Staying ahead of the curve on these ESG issues requires
What's it require?
constant adaptation and a really long-term perspective.
Before we get lost in the big picture,
Yeah.
there's this little nugget in the report.
Okay.
It's titled Subsequent Event.
Subsequent event.
Well, apparently, one of Intuit's subsidiaries secured a new secured revolving credit facility
Oh, wow.
on November 1st, 2024.
So just days after the reporting period ended.
Yeah, like they secured this additional funding.
Makes you wonder what they're planning, right?
It's not a massive sum,
No.
$300 million facility.
But it's a signal that they're gearing up
Yeah.
for something. What could they be planning with this extra cash?
Well, if we consider their current trajectory, it's likely connected to their AI initiatives,
Yeah.
or maybe their push within that global business solutions segment.
They've been on a hiring spree,
They have.
bringing in a bunch of AI talent,
Uh-huh.
developing these AI-powered solutions.
This could be the fuel they need to accelerate these efforts.
Or maybe they've got their eye on a promising startup.
Oh, in the small business arena.
Yeah, acquisitions have always been a part of their growth strategy.
Right. Remember MailChimp?
Exactly.
It's like a financial mystery novel. We've got all the clues,
Yeah.
but the ending's still unwritten.
But this little detail
Mm-hmm.
tells us a lot about their mindset.
It does. It shows they're not afraid to make bold moves,
Yeah.
seize opportunities, even right after wrapping up a successful quarter.
They're always looking ahead.
That kind of forward thinking keeps companies like Intuit at the forefront.
Now, no deep dive into a financial report would be complete without acknowledging the risks involved.
Of course, you're absolutely right. And Intuit's report doesn't shy away from highlighting those potential pitfalls either.
Transparency is key, especially when you're dealing with investors.
Absolutely. And let's be real, the financial technology space,
It's a Shark Tank.
it is a shark tank. It's a constant battle against established giants.
Right.
And those agile startups, all hungry for the same customers.
So Intuit acknowledges this competitive pressure,
They do.
and they know they need to constantly innovate and differentiate themselves just to stay in the game.
And then, of course, there's the ever-looming threat of cyber attacks.
Oh, right.
The report paints a pretty stark picture of these increasingly sophisticated hackers
Yeah.
and how even reliance on those third-party partners can open up these vulnerabilities.
It's a high-stakes game of cat and mouse,
It is.
and they know that data security is paramount.
Absolutely. They're handling incredibly sensitive financial information.
So they need to have these robust cybersecurity measures
They do.
and constant vigilance to protect their customers' data.
It's like they're building a fortress around our financial lives.
But even with the strongest defenses,
Yeah.
there's always that risk of a breach.
That's a sobering thought.
It is. And it highlights the importance of individual responsibility as well.
Right. We can't simply rely on companies to protect our data.
We need to be proactive about our own cybersecurity practices.
Strong passwords, two-factor authentication, being wary of those phishing scams.
Right. It's all part of being a responsible digital citizen these days.
Exactly. But let's not get sidetracked here.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about Intuit's risk assessment.
Right.
Another factor they highlight is this evolving regulatory landscape.
The financial services industry
Uh,
is subject to a web of rules and regulations.
a complex web, and they're always changing.
It's like trying to hit a moving target.
It is.
And any changes in those regulations could have a significant impact on Intuit's business.
Absolutely. They have to be nimble and adaptable to navigate those shifts effectively.
One specific area of concern is data privacy.
Right. As consumers become more aware of how their data is being used,
Uh.
we're seeing stricter regulations around data collection,
Okay.
storage, and sharing.
So it's a delicate balancing act for companies like Intuit.
It is. They rely on data to personalize their services
Right.
and to improve their offerings, but they also need to respect user privacy
Right.
and comply with these evolving regulations.
It's a tightrope walk.
It is a tightrope walk. But it's a walk they have to take successfully.
if they want to maintain the trust of their customers
Exactly.
and the confidence of investors.
Speaking of trust and confidence,
Yeah,
I think we've covered a pretty extensive landscape today.
it's been a good overview.
Intuit's latest quarterly report gives us this fascinating peek into their financial health,
Yeah,
their ambitious plans, and also the challenges that they're facing.
it's a dynamic company
It is.
operating in a fast-paced, ever-evolving industry.
Absolutely. They're making big bets on AI,
Yeah.
expanding their platform approach, and navigating this complex web of risks and opportunities.
And as always, the question for you, our listener, is this.
Hmm.
What does it all mean for you?
Think about it. This deep dive has armed you with the knowledge, the insights you need to form your own conclusions about Intuit's future.
Do their strategic bets align with your expectations?
As a consumer,
Or as an investor,
do you feel confident in their ability to manage these risks?
and capitalize on emerging opportunities?
Are you excited about the prospect of AI playing a bigger role in your financial life?
These are the questions you should be wrestling with.
This is just a snapshot in time, you know?
Right.
The financial technology landscape is in constant flux.
Keep a watchful eye on Intuit's future moves.
Absolutely.
And don't be afraid to adjust your own strategies accordingly.
Speaking of future moves, there was one detail in the report that really caught my attention.
Okay, what was that?
It was the mention of their investment in something they're calling a financial knowledge graph.
What is a financial knowledge graph?
Yeah, what is that and why are they investing in it?
Well, from what I gather, it's like a massive interconnected database
Oh, okay.
that maps out all sorts of financial concepts, relationships, data points. It's meant to help their AI systems understand the nuances of finance.
So it's not just about crunching numbers.
Right.
Their AI could start to reason about financial decisions,
Okay.
understand complex relationships between different financial products,
Interesting.
offer truly personalized advice.
So they're building a financial brain for their AI systems.
We could say that.
And they specifically say that this is key to their strategy to personalize those financial insights for both businesses and individuals.
If they can pull this off, it could be a game changer, you know?
Yeah.
Imagine an AI system that knows your financial situation, but also understands the broader economic context, the regulations, your goals.
That's powerful. But it raises some ethical considerations, right?
Absolutely.
How do we ensure that these AI systems are fair,
Right.
unbiased?
Transparent in their decision
That's
making.
the critical question.
It is. As AI gets more sophisticated and more intertwined with our financial lives,
Yeah.
we need to make sure that it serves us, not the other way around.
It's a balancing act, right?
It is.
Harnessing the power of AI, but safeguarding our values and protecting ourselves from unintended consequences.
That brings us to an important point, you know?
Yeah.
This deep dive has given us a glimpse into Intuit's world and the forces shaping this financial technology landscape. But ultimately, the responsibility lies with you, the listener.
We're all responsible.
You have the power to choose how you engage with these technologies,
Right.
to demand transparency and accountability from these companies,
Yeah.
to advocate for a future where technology empowers us, not controls us.
So as we conclude our deep dive into Intuit's latest quarterly report, we leave you with this final thought. Stay informed.
Stay curious.
And most importantly, stay engaged.
The future of finance is being written right now.
And you have a voice in shaping it.
The report doesn't shy away from outlining potential hurdles. It's actually quite transparent about the challenges they're facing.
Transparency is definitely key,
Yeah.
especially when you're dealing with investors. And let's be real, this financial technology space, it's a bit of a shark tank.
Oh, absolutely. It's a constant battle against both established giants and those agile startups, all hungry for the same customers. Intuit acknowledges this competitive pressure and the need to constantly innovate and differentiate themselves just to stay in the game.
And of course, there's the ever-looming threat of cyber attacks. The report paints a pretty stark picture of the increasing sophistication of these hackers and how even reliance on third-party partners can open up vulnerabilities.
It's a high-stakes game of cat and mouse, and Intuit knows that data security is absolutely paramount. They handle incredibly sensitive financial information, so they emphasize robust cybersecurity measures and constant vigilance to protect their customers' data.
Speaking of protection, what about this potential threat of government-provided tax software that feels like a sword hanging over their head?
It's a valid concern. Intuit acknowledges that if the IRS beefs up its free filing options, it could seriously impact their market share. especially for individuals.
Imagine the IRS going from tax collector to tax preparation competitor. Talk about a plot twist. But how could Intuit possibly counter that?
That's the million-dollar question. It's likely they'd need a multi-pronged approach. We could see them ramping up lobbying efforts to try and influence policy, perhaps even forming strategic partnerships to offer their software as part of the government's solution.
That's an interesting angle, almost like joining forces with the enemy to maintain a presence in the market.
Exactly. But they'd also need to double down on making their software stand out from a basic free option. Think unique features, specialized guidance, maybe even weaving in AI-powered insights to offer a truly personalized experience.
So basically making TurboTax so good that people are willing to pay for it, even if a free option exists.
Precisely. But beyond competition, there's also the responsibility factor. Intuit's report touches on their environmental, social, and governance commitments, their ESG goals, as they call them.
It seems like every company is jumping on the ESG bandwagon these days.
Mm.
What exactly is Intuit focusing on?
They've outlined objectives related to workforce diversity, job creation, and their environmental impact. It's a recognition that sustainability and social responsibility are becoming increasingly important to investors and customers alike.
So it's not just about making profits anymore. It's about doing good while doing business.
Right. But they also acknowledge that achieving these goals is a journey, not a destination. The world is changing rapidly, and staying ahead of the curve on ESG issues requires constant adaptation and a long-term perspective.
But before we get lost in the big picture, let's zoom back in on a detail that really piqued my curiosity. It's this little nugget in the report titled Subsequent Event. Apparently, one of Intuit's subsidiaries secured a new secured revolving credit facility on November 1st, 2024.
Interesting. So just days after the reporting period ended, they went and secured additional funding. Makes you wonder what they're planning, doesn't it? It's not a massive sum, a $300 million facility, but it's definitely a signal that they're gearing up for something.
It's like finding an extra $300 million in your pocket. I'd be running straight to the mall, or maybe a rocket ship company, for fun. But seriously, what could Intuit be planning with this extra cash?
Well, if we consider their current trajectory, it's likely connected to either their AI initiatives or their push within the global business solutions segment. Those are their primary growth engines right now, and they've been quite vocal about their ambitions.
You're right. They've been on a hiring spree, scooping up top AI talent and developing those game-changing AI-powered solutions. This could be the fuel they need to really accelerate those efforts.
Or perhaps they've got their eye on a promising startup in the small business arena. Acquisitions have always been a key part of their growth strategy. Remember MailChimp?
It's like a financial mystery novel.
Oh.
You've got the clues, but the ending is still unwritten.
Mm-hmm.
But even without knowing the exact plan, this tiny detail tells us a lot about their mindset.
It shows they're not afraid to make bold moves and seize opportunities, even right after wrapping up a successful quarter. It's this kind of forward thinking that keeps companies like Intuit at the forefront of their industry.
It's fascinating to think that we're potentially on the cusp of this financial revolution, where AI could be our advisor, our strategist, even our protector.
It's a future filled with possibilities.
Yeah.
But like you said, there are these crucial questions about ethics, responsibility, the balance of power between humans and technology.
And that's where this financial knowledge graph comes in, right? If their AI is going to be making recommendations, it needs to understand.
It needs a solid understanding of the whole financial ecosystem.
Not just our individual finances.
Exactly. It's like, teaching a child about money. You wouldn't just hand them a calculator and a stack of bills. You'd explain, saving, investing, debt, the value of things. That's what Intuit's trying to do with this knowledge graph. Give their AI that foundational understanding.
So less about replacing human financial advisors. And more about
augmenting their capability.
Augmenting their capabilities.
Imagine if your advisor had access to this incredible AI-powered tool that could analyze massive amounts of data, spot trends.
Oh, wow.
Suggest strategies tailored to you.
It could transform financial planning?
It could democratize access to sophisticated financial advice.
Oh, but how do we ensure transparency? As these systems get more complex, how do we know what's influencing the AI?
That's a crucial consideration. It's something that regulators, policymakers, developers really need to think carefully about.
We need to be able to scrutinize its reasoning.
We need to understand the logic. identify potential biases, challenge its recommendations.
So we can't just trust the AI blindly.
Right, exactly.
This also speaks to digital literacy.
Mm-hmm.
As AI becomes more prevalent,
Yeah.
we need to become more savvy about how these systems work.
Absolutely. What are their limitations? How do we interact responsibly?
So it's not just about teaching AI about finance.
Right.
It's about teaching ourselves about AI.
It's a two-way street.
A two-way street, yeah.
That's what this deep dive has been all about.
Yeah.
Empowering you, the listener, with knowledge and insights.
So you can navigate this crazy world
This rapidly evolving world
with confidence.
and make informed decisions about your financial future.
As we wrap up
Yeah.
this exploration of Intuit's latest report,
Mm-hmm.
remember, the future of finance is not preordained.
It's being shaped right now.
By companies, by regulators.
Just by each and every one of us.
Stay curious, stay engaged, and don't be afraid to ask tough questions.
That's how we build a future where technology serves humanity.
Not the other way around.
Thanks for joining us.